Wessler calling the Woodstock Conservation Commission meeting to order at 7:02, Monday, June 22nd. No alternates to seat. Anyone have a chance to look at the minutes and make motion to approve?
Can I have everybody tell me who they are, please?
Oh, ooh, you can't see?
No, I'm on the
Okay,
phone.
everybody-
My computer's killing me.
Okay, everybody say their names.
This is
Crystal,
Stern.
Crystal Adams.
You muted,
I
Beth.
got Crystal, Jordan, Lee, myself, of course.
Beth is muted.
Anybody else? Who else?
Ruby.
Beth Bernard.
Okay, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you.
Okay, so back to the, anyone have a chance to read the minutes and any motions to approve?
Except for
And Maura's joining us, Grace.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Maura.
Hi.
Hi.
I approve the minutes. This is Beth Bernard.
Okay, Beth makes
Thank
motion.
you.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Jordan seconds. Any discussion?
Got it.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Chairman has nothing to report. Treasurer, you got anything?
Same as last month, we have a whopping 10 cents in our budget, and we have 2161.10 in the special fund until obviously July 1st.
Okay, good. Okay, any questions for the treasurer?
What's that?
Oh, Jean just joined us.
Oh,
Hello.
What's the
Hi,
21 for again? The special, what's that fund for again?
it's a special
Special
fund.
circumstances. Special things like paying for the logging, the guy, the forester.
And we've
Just
used
us.
it for buying a kiosk for the 50-acre wood too.
Whatever would be out, what we assume is outside of budgeted items, it was money that was donated to the Conservation Commission.
Very nice, thank you.
Okay, communications. I'm gonna leave my video for a second, check my email. That's where I keep my communications.
Oh, okay.
Grace, you got anything?
Crystal got just copies of acknowledgement of John's departure and my acceptance to be on for another 5 years, so you're stuck with me.
Nah.
John, who?
Odette.
John Odette. Jonathan.
Oh,
actually.
Jonathan. Okay.
Yes.
He's officially retired.
Okay.
I have a lampshade on my head. I feel like I'm in party mood.
I don't have any communications,
Okay.
so I'm
I
coming
do have a
back.
question, Crystal. We had talked about seeing if Pam could be moved to a regular.
No, she can't. She's a Democrat.
Okay.
I switched to unidentified. Could she now be sat?
Unidentified.
There's still too many.
Unaffiliated.
Unidentified.
UFO.
So Crystal, you're saying there's still too many, so she has to stay an alternate.
Yes.
So
Okay.
how do we recruit Republicans to be on the Conservation Commission? Is that something we should try to do, or is that something the Republican Town Committee should be trying to do?
I mean, you could definitely let them know that we have openings, but other than that, I don't know.
All right. That's a good idea. Is Jeff, do you know, is Jeff Gordon still involved with the Republican committee?
There's a new chair. It's not Mike Bernardi anymore. I don't remember his name. If you send an email to my work email, I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, and I'll send him an email asking whether anyone on the Republican town committee is interested. That's a good idea.
Town Committee or just anybody who's a Republican at large?
Yeah. And Pam could go unidentified, then she's okay, right?
I'm not sure about that. There's a whole, because not having any Republicans at all, I don't know. You'd have to talk to the town clerk.
Okay, old business. We have a DRC report. Take it away, Gene.
Okay. Gosh, I've been looking at so many different things. I got a million windows open. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, we did meet. I have to put it. Oh yeah, I have. I was there. Who else was there? Lee,
I was there.
Maura, Jordan. You were there too, right?
Yeah, Jordan was there.
I remember we had a quorum. Was that it? I asked somebody to take notes because I wasn't going to be able to take notes and type at the same time.
It was somebody else. Was it? I don't remember her name.
Was it Pam? Pam was there.
Probably, yeah.
I help
Yeah,
me remember.
Pam
What's her
was there.
last name? Pam Spade. All right, so we reviewed the Woodstock Valley Country Store expansion project. The proposal was to demolish an existing historic structure, build a rustic-looking convenience store with a gas station. The new site will include 27 parking spaces on a paved lot. A gas station is a type of business that will use, store, and handle hazardous materials that potentially threaten groundwater and are regulated by underground storage tank regulations of the Connecticut state agencies, blah, 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 and will not be the focus of this review because that's beyond our purview. Site conditions, it's a historic building on an unpaved lot with a detached country store. Several existing buildings are in the rear of the lot. It's in the Bradford Brook watershed, which is within the Natchog watershed, a drinking water supply watershed for Wyndham and Mansfield. The current impervious cover on the lot was 6% of the total 3.9 acres, and 71% of the property is currently wooded. The 1883 map of Woodstock shows a potential archaeological site near this proposed project. While the old map is not suitable for site-specific review, and the roadway may have been shifted to its current location, the significance of this site warrants careful review. Included a snapshot of this section of the map we're referring to. Our conservation priority is to protect groundwater, to protect water quality in Bradford Brook and downstream drinking water supply, minimize light pollution, and protect potential archaeological site from disturbance. I need to make those real sentences. Recommendations, we recommend that the Department of Public Health Drinking Water Division review the plans to ensure that the separating distance between the leach field and the stormwater detention basin is adequate to prevent hydraulic overload of the soil that may cause a failure of the leach field to adequately treat the wastewater from this facility. For commercial facilities, the minimum separating distance between the leaching field and the stormwater infiltration structure is 75 feet. See page 16, table 1, item H of the attached Connecticut Public Health Code. on-site sewage disposal regulations and technical standards. I actually found the document. An operations and maintenance plan should be required for the stormwater detention basin with provisions for inspection to ensure its functioning as designed. Minimize overnight lighting by use of motion sensor security lights in every feasible location. Consult with the state archaeologist regarding the record of the Indian burial ground for review. Consider installing a small rain garden at the outlet of the curtain drain to infiltrate stormwater, and conduct parking area housekeeping to minimize pollutants, sand and salt, and stormwater runoff. Did I leave anything out?
No, excellent job, as usual. Anyone have any questions for Gene?
Gene, this is Jordan Stern. God forbid they, gas spills, something like that. What happens to that gas?
What happens if they have a gas spill?
Yeah, the guy's filling the tank. He looks away, it overflows. He can go into that.
Yeah, that comes under the fire marshal, and that whole hazardous. The fire marshal has a review in that. DEEP has oversight in that. I mean, there's always that risk at a gas station. If I were to have a gas station in our town, I'd prefer it to be over bedrock as opposed to stratified drift areas where the pollution will travel a lot faster and have a potential to contaminate a lot more groundwater quicker. I just see, there's some things that need to be considered on this site, but unfortunately, we're all driving cars, and except for Lee, who has an electric car, we're using gasoline, and it is one of those, it's like road salt. It's one of those things that we're damned if we do and damned if we don't, So I guess at this point, I'm going to ask, with my cleaning up of some of my sentences, which I typed really quickly during the meeting, do we have a motion to approve?
Well, any more questions for Gene?
I just have a quick question.
What?
This is Beth. Those recommendations that you gave, they're not necessarily, would they be required, or they're just our recommendations and they can be adopted by the town or not? I just don't know how that works.
We're the Conservation Commission. We're an advisory committee. We cannot make them do anything. But in this case, I mean, when we looked at the plans, it appeared to be 25 feet separating between the leaching field and the bottom of the detention basin. So that flagged to me that needs to be reviewed, not by us, but by the Department of Public Health, because they oversee that. And then the archaeological thing, we definitely, I would hope that they'd be respectful enough to require that review, so that we could assure that we're being respectful to the potential burial site, if it's even still there. I feel very uncomfortable even calling it out to people's attention, because it could become a place for a treasure hunt, if you will. But it should be respected and undisturbed as much as possible. But it's there, and that's our job to point it out, and it's their job to call for that review by the state archaeologist.
Okay, thank you.
And Beth, the inland wetlands also reviews it too.
Yeah.
But I believe wetlands has already looked at this proposal.
Yeah.
I don't know what their outcome was. I know that it was on their agenda.
Right. But it's not just us. There are other commissions. Okay, so any other questions for Gene? Hearing none, anyone want to make a motion to approve the subcommittee recommendations?
I'll make a motion to approve the subcommittee recommendations.
Okay, Maura makes
Is
a
it
motion.
Maura?
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Wait a minute, was that Maura, please?
Yeah, Maura
Yes.
made the motion and Jordan
Thank
seconded.
you. Who?
Jordan second.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, then, all in favor of the, recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Yeah.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, the motion carries.
All right, I
Okay.
will tidy up the sentences that I, looking at it now, I see some periods are missing and words are missing and stuff. So I'll tidy it up and I will send it first to Judy, because it's our meeting minutes, and I'll copy Delia and Tina, and Jeff Gordon gets this, or do we just send it
Yeah.
to the building office?
Yeah, Jeff, you should CC Jeff.
Okay, and I'll also try to CC the wetlands, because they did ask me to, but
Yeah.
their review happened before we got the information. I mean, I just got those plans the night we reviewed them, and I still don't have them. I have paper copies for me at the town hall. I just haven't been able to get to the town hall during the day.
Make sure you change the date.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
They'll think we're living in another century.
All right, so that's June 15. As you see, I recycle the template. So we're always doing it the same way.
Yeah,
You've been doing this a long time,
long time.
2007.
Anything else to report, Gene?
I know that there is, I can't, you got I sent it to you, Lee. There's another project that's gonna need to be reviewed, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Oh, when did you send that?
I sent you an email.
How long, before we had our meeting?
No, after, it was the day after we had our meeting. I got an agenda from Christine, and it said there's some other project that's gonna be, I guess it's coming in. Is their meeting this Thursday, or was it last? It was last Thursday.
Yeah.
So there's just another project that we have an opportunity to review. What I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
This is Jordan Stern. Don't forget to mention your name first.
Let me see if I can turn up my volume. I'm having trouble hearing you over the air conditioner.
Gene, send that. I don't see that in my email. Could you send me that again?
I'll look for it.
Yeah, I don't have it. Okay, so I haven't gotten the P and Z for this month yet. Anything Ag Commission, Grace?
No, they're not meeting.
They're not meeting?
No,
Okay,
they haven't met since the town hall closed down.
okay. They're not into Zoom.
Nope.
Okay.
A lot of people aren't.
Okay, anything new with stewardship, you guys? Beth or Ruby?
the 50-acre wood trail has been weed whacked and cleared in certain spots. I still have to go and do some simple marking for a slight relocation out of a wet area so that we can change that. So that's going well, and Maura and I still need to get together and do another property soon. Oh,
Okay,
by
good
the
job.
way, there's a 50-acre wood Facebook trail steward Facebook group. If any of you are interested in joining, just search it or let me know and I can invite you. And that's kind of the way I communicate with everybody. I put kind of a master list of what needs to happen on there so everybody can see. And yeah, that's it.
That's good.
Good.
You're planning to do that for all the town properties eventually? Or would you be
The Facebook thing?
one? Yeah, the Facebook group.
Probably not, unless I just did that Facebook because there was a group of people and we needed to communicate with each other about projects somehow, and they all happen to use Facebook. I actually preferred like a Google Docs kind of thing, but some folks didn't know how to use that. So I probably won't unless we have like a crew of people who need it.
Okay.
Might be, Ruby, there might be bleed over, I would think, if you come up on a property and the people in your group want to participate in that property too.
That's true.
So this is Mara. The OnX Hunt app that we want to try to get. I looked at it a little bit. It's $29.99 for a premium. I think we should just start there. I don't know when when we get the funding.
July
So-
1st.
Okay, so I would say we could start with one, and I think we could just like have a password maybe that we each can just use. I don't see us using a whole, more than one at once, I guess, or we don't have to. We can see how it goes, I guess, and then. So I guess next
Okay.
meeting, but I'm not sure I'm actually going to be at the next meeting, so maybe put it on the agenda or whatever to get the money. I don't know. Do we have to vote on that, or?
I thought we did vote for it.
Oh, I don't know.
Did
If
we
it's
approve that?
$29.95, no, you don't have to. Just give me the receipt.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over $50. We vote.
So in July, we'll get you the receipt then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee can approve anything up to $50 without going to a vote.
Okay, Gene, anything with the pollinator pathway project?
Well, this week happens to be Pollinator Appreciation Week. And I hope you're all out there appreciating the pollinators in your yard. On my lunch break today, I went outside just to see what I could find. There's an iNaturalist site that was set up by the Pollinator Pathway Northeast group. And I signed up and I went out to see if I could find some pollinators. And I don't have a whole lot blooming right now, but I discovered that the winterberry shrub on the side of my house is in bloom. And it was amazing how many different kinds of pollinators I found on that one shrub. Now, they didn't cooperate and sit still so I could get their pictures in a really nice framed format. So I got bee butts and I got some heads with antennas and, all kinds of stuff like that. But it was amazing to see how many different kinds there were. Not one of them was a honeybee. There were ants that were pollinating the flowers. There were paper wasps. There were some really weird looking wasps. I was going to try to download them all so I can just show you. I probably had over a dozen different insects I documented just in 20 minutes on that one shrub. It was really cool. So I'm trying to come up with a way to share this information with people in town so they can participate in this iNaturalist, where they're calling it Pollinator BioBlitz 2020. I don't want to use my personal email address, my personal Facebook account on social media, because I don't want people to tie me to my political leanings. I want it to be neutral. And I know that Crystal has offered to put it up on the town Facebook page if I send it to her, but then somebody has to share it from the town to the other ones, and it's going to get tied to somebody's personal Facebook page that way. I'm still debating on how to do that. I tried to set up a conservation, local Woodstock conservation queen or something. I forgot what I was doing, but I got nailed for not being real. So I was trying to get verified to get that account going.
Gene, this is Ruby. We didn't get discovered for the Facebook page we made for Woodstock Conservation Commission. So it's still waiting to be approved because that was the process. We didn't get it approved from the town. But once you did that, got it approved, it's sitting out there and it's tied to the Woodstock Conservation email. I don't know whether we want to host the pollinator pathway, but I would think we would.
Well, that was the idea of the project, that we were hosting that kind of, it is our Conservation Commission project, and the Conservation Commission should be promoting it. I just have a difficulty doing it by just using my own individual Facebook account.
I created one. I created a Facebook that's Woodstock WCC Conservation, and they have not picked it out as not being a person.
Okay, so this is Crystal Adams speaking. And Jean, if you want to send it to me, I can review it. And then then we could put it on the Town of Woodstock Facebook page. And then I joined as Town of Woodstock. I joined the Woodstock Proud group, so I can share it in that way, coming from the Town of Woodstock. And, you know, people can share this from the Town of Woodstock Facebook page.
The issue becomes, like, if I want to put 12 pictures up, then I have to send you 12 pictures and label them, which I could do easily on my phone. But when it becomes sending you the individual pictures with a description, and then you have to take those pictures and put them on the Facebook page, it becomes more complicated. I mean, I'm managing so many different Facebook pages for different groups that I belong to. And it's just so easy when I can take a picture, click on the picture, you know, load the photo, write a description, and send it. It just, anything that's going to consume more of my time than that is something I'm just not going to do because of my limits on my time. It's a very difficult thing. I would not mind if we put a disclaimer on the Facebook site that Ruby created saying, this is information about conservation in Woodstock. These are the opinions of the Conservation Commission and not necessarily the opinion of the town. But it's got to be easy, or else I don't have time for it.
This is Crystal Adams speaking. I believe that Lee had attended a Board of Selectmen meeting a few months ago to bring this up, and at the time it was decided to not go that route and to wait for the town, but that's something that certainly Lee could bring up again to the selectmen.
Okay.
Okay.
Lee,
Are they
select-
having real meetings yet, or it's all virtual?
No, everything is virtual. As a matter of fact, about 2 weeks ago, I attended a virtual webinar put on by the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, and it was the opinion of the two lawyers presenting that that virtual meetings are probably going to be here for quite a while. They believed it would be some time before in-person meetings were allowed to resume.
But it's the same time, Thursday afternoons, and
The first Thursday of the month at 4, and then the third Thursday of the month meeting, we had to move it to 4 p.m. also. The reason being is planning and zoning meets that third Thursday at 7:30, and we can't run 2 Zoom meetings at the same time. We have a pro account. We can have up to 500 people. We've got 2 different users, so both Anthony and I can host the meetings, but we can't physically host 2 meetings going on at the same time, which is why that 7 p.m. Board of Selectmen's meeting on the third Thursday has now been moved to 4 p.m. And that happened a few weeks ago.
hey, Crystal, sorry, Jean, so you're asking for a dedicated Facebook page just for
outreach, education and outreach for the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
Nothing political, nothing, controversial. We're just going to be talking about projects that are going on, positive things that are going on in town, workshops that are coming up, so we can help spread the word about upcoming events and ongoing projects.
Okay.
Lee, this is Crystal Adams speaking again. If you want to email me something to possibly go on the agenda for next week's meeting, I can run that by Jay.
Okay, thanks, Crystal.
You're welcome.
And again, this is Jean. If you would feel more comfortable if we put a disclaimer on about the content of the page is the point of view of the Conservation Commission. And if anybody wants to report anything they think is political and what the process, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that because I do not intend to use the page for anything other than education.
Okay, great. Okay, any other questions for Jean? Go on to the
I
update.
have a
of-
question for everybody. How many of you put more pollinating plants in your gardens this year? Okay, Beth.
We did.
Peonies and
What?
Crystals, lots of peonies.
I'm full
already
up.
have
I
a
have
lot.
enough pollinators. I'm overwhelmed with pollinating.
Hey,
Yeah,
if the deer don't eat it, my button bush is actually making buttons this year. And that's like one of the big pollinator magnets that I've ever seen.
I have a weeping cherry, and that thing was so loud with the buzzing. It was amazing. I tried to capture it on video and just the sound alone, and I couldn't quite come across. But same as Eugene, there must have been 10 different kinds of bees, big ones, little ones, honeybees. I was amazed. I was like, oh my God, it's just like incredible.
Well, I would love to see families, this is Jean, get involved with this BioBlitz. It's a great activity for families that are home and looking for something to keep the kids busy. I mean, give them an iPhone or something and send them out in the yard to take us pictures of many different kinds of bees as they could find and make it a game. I think that would be an awesome project.
Yeah, Jean, I'm gonna look that up. I hadn't heard about that, but I can probably share it with my CFPA Project Learning Tree folks too. and
Okay,
connect.
I'll find the email they sent me about it, or I mean, I know they sent me something. That's how I knew about it. But
I have no idea where they're going because I had a whole bunch of clover in the front, right in front of the hive. They're not in that clover at all. They're just everywhere else. I don't know where they're all going. They're going someplace else to get their.
I think someone's typing right now, and if you are typing, just
Sorry.
put yourself
That
on
what
mute.
that is.
Thank you.
I'm writing Crystal.
Just mute yourself. Thanks.
tapping my fingers.
Okay, update of maps used by Conservation Commission.
Okay, this is Jean speaking. We have a development review checklist that is part of the official process that is required with a planning and zoning application. And it refers to maps that were once housed on our old website. And when we went over to the new website, the maps didn't go over with it. Now, truthfully, I don't use those maps anymore because there's now online maps that weren't available at the time we made that checklist. But the checklist has become out of date because we don't tell them where to get the information to do the review. It needs to get updated. I now, as you know, who are at the meeting, use the NECOG GIS to the extent that it's useful. It doesn't have all the layers that we refer to, but it does give us a good clue of what resources are on each parcel as we're doing the review. I also use the Connecticut Environmental Conditions Online maps for additional information that they have on that site. So I go back and forth between those two free online mapping programs, but the checklist does not refer to doing that. So we need to fix it.
I have this is Ruby. I have access to that map page still. I just didn't transfer it over because it would have been awful. And I just decided that who looks at those things, but maybe a lot of people do look at those things.
I think until I can fix the development review checklist, which fortunately hasn't been a high priority, we do need to have the maps put online, and then I can let Delia know that they've been put back on our new website.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you're not doing it?
No, it's insane. She must have taken forever to put those maps on there. And you can't, they're little thumbnails. You can't blow them up. They don't really tell you anything. I can't believe anyone uses them. They seem totally useless to me. So maybe I'm thinking of something else other than what you're talking about, but the segment with the maps, I
I think she put thumbnails up and they hyperlinked to PDF versions of the maps, and maybe you just don't have those PDF files.
well, then they disconnected, then I don't have them. But I have exactly how she had it set up. We just gave me another place to go so I could transfer things over if need be, if there was something that was identified as being left out like it is right now. And you're saying the maps, it's extensive. And even though you click them and they might get a little bit bigger, they're still little thumbnail. You're welcome to come over and look at it and tell me what it is you want. But
Well, I'm trying to think, because I made the maps. So on that old,
why do they have to be on the website? Let me just understand that.
because the development review checklist refers to the maps on our website.
And the development review
Checklist should be on our website too.
Is used by who?
Anybody who's putting together an application for a planning and zoning permit for any land use change.
So shouldn't the planning and zoning have a link to these maps?
They were always on the Conservation Commission website in the past. Like I said, I still have, and I don't know if it'll even start, but I still have that old, I don't even remember what edition, Windows, the laptop that we got in 2002. It may start up. I don't know if the USB drive will work with a current flash drive. I could try to take the maps off, but
Well, what I'm thinking is I can talk to Bet, but I'm thinking the space that we have them sitting at could be utilized by, I guess we could put a link to that on our website and link it to that map section that way. That would be easy enough.
yeah, I think you'd have to upload each individual map, which I believe I had in a PDF format. So
why would I have to do that if I could take you to a link that already it's the old site and they could link to it and go to it?
Oh, the old site is still alive?
No, but it sits out there under another category that Bet saved for me so that I could go back and draw material from it. But I could talk to Bet and see about just linking our website to that page. And then whoever needs that, it could just say, here's where the maps are, link, and it goes to that page where they already sit.
Okay. But I'll send you a copy of the development review checklist, which is officially a part of the zoning application. And once you see that and it talks about the maps, you'll understand the process.
I guess I just still don't get why it would be on our website.
Because it was our maps. We made them. It was a product of the...
It seems like people who want to do zoning would go to zoning and look for these maps. Maybe it's something that we get.
On the development review checklist, it tells them to go to the Woodstock Conservation website to get the maps. That's what that's how it was done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But since we're having to go through this effort, I'm thinking that wouldn't it be nicer for the community to go to zoning and find the maps at zoning because they're looking for zoning information and not come. I mean, maybe it is some way to get people over to our website to look at other things, but it just seems practical to have maps for zoning on the zoning website.
Well, in my opinion, the maps are out of date anyway. The parcels have changed over time. There's been subdivisions put in, there's open space that was set aside that wasn't open space back then. So like the maps are static and we have a very dynamic situation and fluid situation in town, things change. Which is why I like the online maps. But in order for me to give instructions for how to use those maps, that would take a tutorial. And maybe I can arrange for people to give that tutorial. You know, give Jim Larkin from NECOG give a demo on how to use those maps, or Delia, or somebody from the CLEAR, Connecticut Land Use Education and Research, give a demonstration how to use the eco maps. You know, those are opportunities that we can have to educate people, put together a little video, pop it up on a YouTube site someplace, and then link to it. This is how you use the
That sounds great.
Well, it's again, priorities. Right now I'm not able to give any of my time during the work. I can't take time off because I have a major deliverable that I'm working on, but I'm gonna see how I can do it. But if you can get Bet to tell you how to link to the maps that are currently on the old website, that would be a
Tell
very,
people they're dated. Here, I'm going to link to this website, but these maps are dated and not useful.
right. Well, they're what the checklist goes to.
Oh gosh, Jean,
This is more, you know, how can zoning take over maybe somebody that's getting paid, you know, and if it's really part of zoning, maybe it's their responsibility to kind of take it on and figure out what they need to do. Is that the?
Because this is our advice on a review, again, it's not a zoning regulation as much, except for the idea that they do want that as part of the application. But we're advising them to do this, and they're obliging us by asking them to go through the process. I mean, the purpose of the development review checklist was simply to get developers to think about more than how much money the land is worth, but also look at the other resources on the property so they can minimize disturbance of those resources and still take advantage of the property for development. So it was a process of changing the mindset. That's why we did it. We got an award for it. I mean, we literally got an award for coming up with this concept. It's just got to get updated, and I don't have the time to put into it right now.
well, personally, this is Ruby. I don't think you should put something up that's outdated. I think until we can update it or I think the education about maps that exist that are always updated is the way to go. Links to maps that are, that are updated. I don't see the utility in putting outdated maps.
Well, how about we do this? I will send everybody a copy of the development review checklist so you'll be more familiar with what it is we're even discussing. And then maybe next month we can come back to figure out how to redirect people instead of the static maps to the online maps and edit the checklist so that it says how to do that.
Great, I'm happy to help with that, yes.
That's a good idea.
Because it really does need to happen that way.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, Crystal, Sustainable Connecticut. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, there's a summer intern I've been emailing with about some steps that Woodstock can look at taking, and there is, I think I got that email from her today. I haven't had a chance to look at the steps, but They are having a number of virtual meetings. Let me share that screen with you so you can see. And then if you're interested, you can join. Here we go. All right, so you should be seeing some offerings of upcoming Sustainable Connecticut virtual learning opportunities. And these are free if anyone is interested. Just send me an email and I'll be happy to forward this to you. But there's one on municipal energy tracking. I might take that one if I'm available. I think I've got, I'll look at my schedule for Wednesday. There's one on assessing your community's housing needs, creating a brownfields inventory, a conversation on recertification, and they had a virtual equity classroom, but that is full for July. So that's what's going on there.
Any questions for Crystal? Okay, new business. Grace, any workshop? Crystal, you have something to say?
Well, actually, Jean sent.
Hang on
Jean,
for a sec.
Is there an open space report?
That's not on, whoa, it's not on the, oh no, there it is.
Yeah, it is.
Open space.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead. I missed
Okay. So open space, Dawn will be contacting you, Lee, if she hasn't already, regarding getting on the agenda for a future Conservation Commission meeting. We are proposing the purchase of development rights for Maple Crest Farm, partnering with the Connecticut Department of Agriculture. The farm is on Route 169. Thank you. The farm is on 169. It's about 140 acres. And the cost to the town will be around not more than $65,000.
Wow.
Open Space has the necessary funds to purchase the development rights. There'll be, so there's no increase to the town budget or to taxes or anything like that. And so Dawn came to the Board of Selectmen's meeting last week to let them know about this. And now she'll be contacting different chairs of different commissions and going on their agenda. They're going to their meetings to talk about this, and then she'll bring it back to the selectmen. And then hopefully this fall, it will be something that will go to a town meeting.
I have a question, Crystal.
Yes.
This is Jean. Maple Crest Farm is owned by who?
Timothy, Wendy, Lucas, and Angela Young.
Trying to think which one that one is. I know I've seen Maple Crest Farm on something, but I can't. Is it a big white barn, big red with a red roof or something, or?
It's the big barn. Let me share the map. It's sideways. I apologize for that. I haven't had. So it's on 169, and.
Oh, that's sideways.
Yeah, it's that sideways. So it's on 169. If you're on 169 going north towards Southbridge, it'll be on your right. It's where the Appaloosa horse is, the old Appy in the field.
Oh, that's great. We were worried that that was going to be developed. So it's
No.
like half a mile up from Sweet Evelina's.
Right. If I'm remembering the conversation correctly, I believe the property that will be purchased for development rights is behind the house and barn. I believe there's a set number of acres that are being set aside for the people who are living in the house. But Dawn will have more information.
Oh, that's wonderful.
About that.
That's wonderful.
That the one with the for sale sign in front of it? There's a for sale sign there?
I don't think so.
I haven't seen a for sale sign.
What's
I
by
haven't.
you're going down, you're headed north, you're before your house. It's where that building is that does a paper in the back. There's a little for sale sign, but you can't tell what land, what it's for.
Oh, no, that's 2 acres. You mean right over the crest of the hill as you come down?
Yeah, going up, going down. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's just 2 acres behind the house on 160. It's a silly lot. They want to build a house in somebody's backyard, basically.
So this is Crystal Adams speaking again. So Lee, Dawn will be sending you an email if she hasn't already to ask to go on a future agenda to come in to talk about this.
Okay.
Crystal, if I pull up the parcel map, could you point out where it is?
Yes.
All right.
You know where Dividend Road is? I think it's almost right across from Dividend Road.
Is that up near where Reva used to live?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
it's right. It's you know, just a little south of the Christmas barn.
Yeah,
And,
that's
and
not
we're
a
both
stretch of
like,
169 I travel often, but I remember Maple Crest Farm. I remember the name. So that's awesome. That's really good news.
and it's near where we reviewed where they wanted to put in the motocross track last year or 2 years ago.
Gosh,
Just
I remember that. Yeah. Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Of course,
Any
I
other
heard,
questions? Go ahead, Jean.
I did hear another farm is on the market, but it's on Ojala Road. But there's just, I talked to Dawn and she says that there's no money right now. So it's one you don't see from the road, but it's still, piece of farmland. So it's sad to see farms go on the market. That's all.
Any other questions for Crystal?
Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome.
Okay, now, Grace, any workshops?
Well, no, but as Jean forwarded, there's another walk up on Bull Hill if anybody's interested this coming Saturday. It was fun. It's the chestnut guy. We're going up to see if there's any other trees or if they've been pollinated. That's, I'll meet at Bull Hill at 10 o'clock in the morning if you're interested. And the other thing, I got word from Last Green Valley. Of course, they're putting together their October walks, if anybody's interested in leading a walk someplace. But other than that, that's about it.
Jean, Grace, this is Jordan. How hard of a walk is that on Saturday?
It's what you want to create. Oh,
No, the Saturday.
Saturday.
Bull Hill.
It's not bad. It's really not bad. You drive up Bull Hill Road, which is, if you're going to the town dump or the transfer station, if you go on Senexit Road and Bull Hill is like, I don't know, a half a mile up the road, you would make a left onto it and you go quite a ways on Bull Hill. And there's a gate which will be open that we can park behind. And from there, it's really not bad.
I think I made that walk before. Good. I think I'll be there at 10 o'clock then.
Yeah, no, it's, as I say, it's fun. And I actually, just to know that we did have some benefit from having Jack come and talk, a friend of mine emailed me that they went looking for chestnut trees, and he found several in Pomfret, found several in the Natchog Forest, and Jack, the guy from the Chestnut Society, did come out, and they're watching over them, and he was very, very excited that, they did find some trees, and they are viable, so that's good news. And he thanked the Conservation Commission for putting it on to make this something that people could do. So kudos to us.
Good. Okay, open discussion. Ruby, got anything? Shaking her head no. Crystal? Shaking her head no. Jean?
On the 30th, there's going to be a cold water stream habitat talk, 7 o'clock at night. It's going to be a Zoom meeting. Chris Bellucci from Connecticut DEEP is going to talk about cold water habitat, what makes something cold water habitat and the importance of it and some of the threats to this type of habitat. Several people have already signed up from our Conservation Commission. I believe Beth did, and Jordan, and did you too, Ruby? Yeah. And so there's still plenty of openings if anybody wants to attend.
When is it?
June 30th at 7 p.m. And to register for this talk, you need to send me an email at jean.pillow@comcast.net.
You guys send us out the link later?
I will send out the link closer to the night of the workshop. That way I can remind people, you know, you signed up for this workshop. Now, I saw Chris give the talk, and it's interesting, and it's something that we should still have in Woodstock. And documenting where our cold water streams are is a process that I personally have been working on. And the more we know about it, the more we can protect them, because there's things that we do that makes the water warm up, and then they lose that cold water designation.
Hey, thanks, Gene. Beth, you got anything?
Just something I remembered, I forgot to ask before. I was talking with Brennan at CFPA about the trail on the Hibbard property on Pond Factory Road. And he asked me if the town beach was open. At that time, I said no, because I had heard it was closed, but I didn't know if it was opening this summer. Maybe this is for Crystal, if you know.
Yes. Hi, this is Crystal Adams speaking. Yes, officially the town beach will be opening this Friday, June 26th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jordan, you got anything? Jordan shaking his head no. Laura, you got anything?
I don't know who is the contact for the Celebrating Ag. Are you the contact, Lee?
Define contact.
Actually, it's me, yeah.
Oh, did you get an email from Claire Spaghetti? I did.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. I did, just to mention, because ECCD also participates. They are not going to have it this year at the fairgrounds.
That's why I didn't remember it.
And well, they are asking that, you know, farmers, businesses, whoever, can share informational videos, demonstrations, photos, pre-recorded live videos, whatever. So they're going to try to do a social media type thing to encourage the public to purchase from local ag. And so anyway, they're doing it for like a whole month. So September 1st to September 26th. So it said they're going to send some more information about video requirements and activities and stuff. So I don't know if we want to do something like that as the Concom.
Well,
That's it.
I mean, it would be probably some pollinator pathway and maybe something on that trail project we're going to be involved in, but I'm not sure that, but each of those have their own video stuff. So.
Well, we could, this is Jean, we could always just send in the link to the pollinator pathway introduction video, which is up on our website. And
Right.
if they want to include it, they can.
Yeah, that's something we could do. And I think the Connecticut Path, you know, the Camp Nahako thing, I think they're doing their own videos, so we can send links.
Now, I don't know how much that relates to agriculture, the Camp Nahako, the Crystal Pond Park historical piece. But the pollinator pathway obviously relates to agriculture because we don't have
Right, but
fruit trees that help pollinators. So that more relates to.
Right, but for Ag Day, we've done stuff that doesn't necessarily directly relate to agriculture. We've done septic tanks and
Yeah.
You know, we've done stuff.
Well, but we've done forestry, which is agriculture. Crystal, would open space be wanting to talk about their new acquisition project, or will that be something that's already gone to town meeting by September?
I'm not sure yet if it'll be, when it'll go to town meeting. I believe it's September or after September. But I know Open Space will be putting together a video
Okay,
for the Celebrate Ag.
awesome, awesome. Because you guys, there's a lot to celebrate with what you do.
Yes.
Okay, Grace, you got anything?
No, I think we covered it.
Hey, anything else for the good of the order? Or someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Jean.
Who was
Second?
that?
Jean.
Someone want a second?
Second, Mara.
Maura, second. Okay.